Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Loop Showcase. We are back with another interview with my homegirl, Aysha Upchurch,
Hey,
the
what it
one
do?
and
What it do? What it
only
do?
Diplomat. So this interview is it's a part of the tour term series to celebrate Hip Hop 50, and I wanted to bring some special folks along into this series that are doing some amazing, immaculate work in the field as artists, hip hop scholars, activists, and entrepreneurs. And today we are here with the lovely, as I stated before, Aisha. Everybody give a round of
Hey.
applause. Woo!
Oh my gosh, stop. No, don't stop. What's up? What's up?
What's up? Aisha, I know you,
I
but to
know
the
who
world,
you is.
I know who you is, I know who you are. But to the world, who are you? Who is Aisha of Church?
Beautiful. Aysha Upchurch is the youngest of four from Northside St. Louis. Uh, I'm daughter to a singing, dancing mother. I'm the daughter to activist coach father. I'm the youngest. I have two older sisters, and one older brother. Um, I'm the recess president. I'm a joy
Yes.
ambassador. I'm a seed planter, soil agitator, curious and passionate artist, educator, bars. Um, I'm the dancing diplomat. I'm trying to be out here. I think my mom used to always say, like, leave a place better than you found
Mm,
it. Um, and I really think the point of everything is to leave the state of humanity better than I found it when I rode up on this planet. And so dance is my primary language and mechanism to do that. Teaching is a conduit, performing and choreographing is a conduit. But really, just trying to help people feel healed, held, heard, and humanized.
ooh,
I love alliteration. And that's who I am. It's very simple. That fits into like a little box on the application.
I love that. Healed, held, heard, humanized.
Boom.
Mm, I
Mm-hmm.
like that. So with being healed, held, heard, and humanized, who was that for Aisha? Or what was that moment when Aisha felt that when she knew she was going to be this extraordinary artist?
Yeah, well, in the spirit of Snoop Dogg, I got to thank me for me. I told you I'm hydrated, so watch out. Um, wait, let me put my serious face on.
Oh my God.
This was not scripted. You ain't see that coming. Nope. You can send me the questions, but you will never be prepared for the responses. Honey, I don't even know. But honestly, I think the truth of the response to that question is it's an ongoing, evolving kind of process where, um, in a lot of ways, my students are my healers and my teachers. As much as they open their arms to receive me in the different spaces that I've been in, that actually helps me know that I'm okay to show up as I am. I
Mhm.
think of my parents, the expression I am my ancestors' wildest dreams. I'm not even dipping back into the parts of my family tree that we don't even know how to search. I'm
Mhm.
looking immediately at Marcia and William and like, I applaud their resiliency. And I've told them this, like, I really, as I get older, I truly realize that I'm not supposed to repeat the struggles that they had to go through. They, I'm supposed to take where they were and keep going, um, and offer them humanity and knowing, like, I don't know what it's like to have been parents coming up, a human coming up in the 50s and 60s
Yeah.
from a working class. Like I think the grace that I'm learning to extend to family members around me, the grace I'm learning to extend to myself. And then when I think about um, like artists, educators who are in my life in the space of formal and informal mentors, what I take, what's been healing and humanizing about that is that I've learned from them that I don't have to force myself into pre-existing uh, square pegs or square holes when I'm not even a circular peg. I'm like a poly. Listen, geometry wasn't a good place. Why would I reference this? But like, I'm some type. What's some things that got a lot of sides? A polygon.
Yeah, polygon.
If I'm this
Or
polygon,
octagon.
octagon, pentagon, hexagon. Don't ask me what them numbers mean, what
All
them
the
letters mean to the numbers, but
polygons.
I don't fit. I have learned from folks that I don't have to hide being an artist. I don't have to hide being a teacher. I don't have to hide being a nerd. And that's been restorative for me to embrace my own nuanced humanity. And therefore, when I'm in spaces with people who even look like me, I
Mm-hmm.
can leave space for the reality that we're still so different and nuanced. So it's a host of folks that have been, I like to tell people this. Aysha Upchurch is she is a group project.
I love that.
There have been a lot of people working on this group project. So no solo dolo, and I feel like I'm supposed to honor those people who have showed up and continue to show up, even you know, showing up.
Mm.
So thank you for being part of Project Aysha Upchurch. It's a doozy. I don't know if the pay is that good, but thank you.
It's not about the quantity, it's the quality. It's the
Yes,
quality, you
yes,
know,
yes.
you know? Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that you're referencing all these bits and pieces that are coming into your orbit. That is defining or also exemplifying who you are as just a human being, not necessarily the artist, the diplomat, the educator, the scholar, the activist, but just who you are, because then that's the gateway to the portals of all the things that are flowing inside of you.
Mm, you must be a dancer because you cannot even be still. We don't. Oh, little Kim in there. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay?
Ooh, wave on them. You want to rumble with the bee?
Okay.
Zzz.
But it's beautiful because then, when I do think about hip hop, that is our story. That is our legacy. We don't just pop up on the scene and say, "Hey, this is the flow." The flow is coming from some lived experience, some testimonial that's a part of our journey, and
Mhm.
we want to share that with everyone else because also too, it's like this is my story, but also understand too that whatever that I'm doing is connected to somebody else that might not even know
Yeah.
me, and it's like, oh, you
Right.
know that? I know that. We know that. And I think that's
Exactly.
always beautiful about this hip hop. It's just the ongoing sharing. It would never get tired. That would never decline. It would never like exile. Like that will
Yeah.
always be. We're always searching for that genuine unifiedness that we all can have together. And with that being said, how does this begin to show up in academia for you? Like, what was the entry point for you
Yeah.
to say, this is academia, this is what I want to do? That not that many. Going back to, I have to share my story for other people to know that this exists and that I see you. You know, we don't. A lot of people don't know that you can have a whole career in hip hop in academia.
Yeah.
Now, our uncles and our cousins and our nephews out here spitting game on the street and don't know that there's a
Mhm.
whole world that they have available to them or could be available to them
Yeah.
to take their work and their artistry in this space. So how did you get there? What is that journey for you?
Yeah. So um, I I develop a deeper appreciation for the multiple pathways that are possible for folks to, and preface everything I'm about to say with this. Like, I'm not negating the fact that like having a job is an important thing to do. Um, I've kind of released myself from thinking about what I do as a job or even as a career. I really believe that there is a work that I'm called to.
Hmm.
Folks can have whatever like spiritual or, you know, philosophy about it, but I tend to believe not necessarily there's a single solitary thing you're supposed to do on this planet accomplish, but I think there's a kind of work that you're designed for, and there's no escaping that on this planet you're going to work. I think I'm trying to distinguish between work and unnecessary and unfair labor. And
Mm.
so the work that I'm called to, again, realizing that dance is my language, um, being this kind of like recess adult. I think it's because like I skipped kindergarten. And so I just feel like I'm trying to recover. I'm trying to make space for all the naps and
Okay.
recesses and games I didn't get to play at that very crucial developmental stage in my life. Um, but I think if you remove having a job or a appointment in academia from my CV, if you removed all of those formalities, my greatest hope is that people will see the through line of Aysha Upchurch is that she wanted to help create the sense of community,
Mm.
help create opportunities for people to be in their bodies, feeling whole, feeling curious, feeling okay. That she wanted to help facilitate experiences where people could see each other and hold space for each other's humanity, that we could laugh, and that joy wasn't made to seen as anti-intellectual or anti-academic, that art is not reserved for the people who still believe that that comes with a capital A and only refers to Western traditions and canons. That what you did in your living room, learning your first dance steps from your auntie Nim, is formal education. And so, having said all of that, the work that I do in appointments at different universities, it is a manifestation of what I think is that calling. And I've learned hard lessons around being intentional so you can have financial stewardship, around then, okay, when you have a job, like be smart with your money, or if you're going to be an artist, that is still work and that is a job. It's not just like I just wake up and I feel like this and I make cool stuff. So I think that's important foregrounding for me to respond to that question, because my pathway in academia, at least as an instructor, is in a lot of ways not traditional. I think when I realized that quote unquote teaching hip hop dance has to mean more than the popular choreography of the time to music that is catchy. I felt that shift happen in my practice as a community educator around 2010. And I was like, I think, or even somewhere around 2009, 2010, I was like, I think there's a different way to represent hip hop dance that isn't just like making it the cash cow
Mm.
of a studio. It's going
Yeah.
to be a cash cow. I feel like my ancestors are definitely rolling their eyes and sucking their teeth at me like a Caribbean auntie if I teach it in a way that just positions it as something cool you can do after work, you know. And this is before people got videographers coming to their class, makeup, lights, and all of that. This is before being famous on YouTube was a thing. This is back when you still had handheld camcorders. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And so in that switch for me of going, how do I honor hip hop, and how do I dare myself to learn what kind of educator I can be by changing the way I teach it? It opened up opportunities to do a guest class in someone's university uh, classroom, their course. And I was like, yo, this kind of cool, because you can have the same people for 12 weeks and not be like, are they gonna come this Monday? They're gonna come next Monday. Like, they gotta come. They paid money, they're gonna get a grade. And it started flipping to me that perhaps I'd be interested in shifting my practice or accompanying my community teaching practice with being in a setting like college, because that means I can build something and
Mm.
really help facilitate people's learning about this thing in a very intentional way for this set amount of time. So it's like using the structure of academia, that transaction, like you're going to have students, they're going to be there for 12 weeks. I was like, that's perfect. That means 12 weeks, we could really get into it. Now we can unpack this beyond something cool to do to rap music. And so when I had that opportunity to do a guest class back in 2012, um, it went well, and that particular institution and department took they were like, you want to teach a course here? I did not go to school for teaching in college. I do have graduate degrees, but they are not um, terminal, which is a funny word, right? Because in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
medical field, when you
yeah.
say terminal, and actually, like, it has such a negative connotation. Anyway, but that chance went well, and another institution was like, "Hey, somebody's leaving. We see you're doing that good work. You want to come over here?" And so, for me, my pathway into teaching, particularly hip hop in academia, came out of that time of going, "How can I re-examine like my relationship to the culture in this position of educator, so that people can learn more than just cool dance steps?" And I don't think academia is for everybody. Um, and I think
Mhm.
that's okay for people to know. Like, you need to know it doesn't mean you're a bad teacher, you're a bad artist, you're not creative. It is a particular type of bubble, you know. Um, and
Trust me, I know.
every bubble ain't for everybody. Put that on a t-shirt. But this one, for me, I like those 12 to 15 week containers to go, boom, let's build something on purpose here. And so I I hold that I'm trying to honor the culture. I also hold that I learn so much about people by being in the position of teacher. Is actually one of the best ways I learn. And I hold that experience really high over like, oh, where are you teaching? And how much are you making? And all of that. It's just like, I think teaching is a love practice. I think it's a spiritual practice. And I actually love hip hop culture. I care about it. And so I don't treat those opportunities poorly. They're very sacred to me, actually. So I think that's helped me be able to navigate in different spaces, to be able to create courses where they didn't exist in spaces. Um, because what I will take from hip hop, listen, what you not gonna what I can battle you with and get to the finals is you can't tell me I'm not a good educator. Can't tell me I'm not a good facilitator. I have put time into figuring out that craft as it pertains particularly to hip hop culture. Like, I've been a disciplined student that way. And so I can be anywhere and know that I'm repping the culture and that I'm creating an environment where people can really learn from and see each other. Long-winded response, but I really want to be clear for folks. Like, that's my philosophy.
Enough said, enough stated. I ain't got nothing to say about it. Ah, ah, ah.
Mm. Obligatory dab. Do they do that? No, thank God they don't no more.
Not the dab. Not the dab.
Sorry, I was
Not the
going
dab. Oh my God.
2019 on it. Sorry.
Okay. So late. So expired.
I'm an auntie. What you gonna do? Auntie's always late, but they on time at the same time. Okay, I'm a
Yes.
bona fide auntie.
Oh my God. Ah, so with all of that's happening, what does Aisha's downtime look like? What is that work-life balance for you? How do you start to separate yourself from all the entities and just be Aisha?
That's a beautiful question, and I'm gonna tell you, if you'd have asked me this question 6 months ago, I wouldn't have had a response because I'd be like, I'm never down. I don't know what work-life balance is. Um, and I will say, like, I had the beautiful opportunity to be at Harvard for 9 years. 1 year as a student, 8 years in some
Hard who?
capacity
Hard who?
on.
Hard who?
I'm not gonna give 1636. I'm the son. It's not the son. Okay. They had the privilege of having me around. Listen, that's the attitude that I'm trying to like. I'm joking, but like, because I know I'm gonna show up as Aisha wherever I am. But I'm gonna say that that same aura of like Harvard, yeah, it does conjure up something. And I think in a way, I didn't give myself space to like trust, believe, and then breathe into like, hey, showing up, being honest, that's enough. Like, you ain't got to keep trying to do 50 million 11 things. You know, 5011 is a real number for Black folks, and it's always a lot and too many. Um,
Yes. Yes.
you know, and I don't think I understood that I wasn't giving, even in that fast moving environment, space to kind of like breathe. I am so incredibly thankful to the surrounding Cambridge and Boston community of artists, and particularly artists of color, who really embraced me. And I enjoyed getting to see and participate in community there. And, and that felt like relief, like going to a jam or going to an event. But it also kind of felt like on the clock, because I'm like, ooh, maybe I could create a partnership. And not because I'm trying to prove something to someone, but I think for some reason I couldn't understand that like just being is enough. And since I've transitioned from Harvard to Austin, Texas, like I got this thing I realized, right? Yeah, UT Austin, and shout out to the theater and dance area. Um, so I think Texas gets a bad rap. Okay, hear me out. People be like, oh, Texans are so slow and so backwards. I'm gonna tell you what the truth is. Whenever Texas started, like whenever US was like, Mexico, we gonna steal Texas and call it Texas, and that whole craziness started, it must have been in a really hot month, because I arrived here in August in the middle of like, what is it, 40 plus days over 100. And let me tell you, as soon as I got off the plane, you got to slow down. It's too hot to move fast. You will die walking at the East Coast pace outside with no water bottle. You're going to die. You're going to die. So Texans walk slow for preservation. Therefore, if you're going to walk slower, you have a little bit more time to think and just like breathe, or just like wipe the perspiration off of your face. You stay more hydrated because you have to. So I just want to stick up for Texans are not slow. It's the environment. Like you just got to slow down. But all jokes aside, my life has slowed down in the most beautiful ways, where now I don't work on weekends. Like my eyes hurt if I open up my laptop. I'm not even making this up. If I open up my laptop and try to like, I'm gonna go in and do this, my eyes are like, shut it. They're like, we move slower here. That means this is your time to enjoy being Aysha Upchurch. Enjoy really understanding that you have been working intentionally to become a good educator, to keep growing your knowledge of the culture, to create real relationships with people. And so you don't have to manufacture a whole lot of other work and like receipts of like, oh, if I just did this, if I did this. So I'm learning balance now, and it feels beautiful. I'm really thankful for it. That's not what I thought would be an outcome of this major life transition. But it's been very needed, because the artist in me feels refreshed. Like the creative ideas like will not stop, and finding new people to share them with and experiment with. It's like, yes, I want to be doing that. So
I love that. Texas ain't slow. It just slows you down.
it's just hot. I wish that if you come here from New York walking like you walking on the subway in August in Texas, I beg to differ. You gonna slow
I'm
down?
not doing it. I spent enough time in Mississippi to
Oh,
understand.
you what's understood? Yeah, you get it.
I'm, I'm sure Texas might be a little hotter, but Mississippi heat ain't no joke. In Florida,
Oh, that's
I
right.
lived
You
in
know,
Florida.
ya tú
So
sabes. Yeah, you know.
What Mary would say, I'm walking, no, I'm not. I'm stepping.
Yeah. No, I actually also think it's criminal to go outside before 6 p.m. in Texas in the summer. Why do you need heat exhaustion? Like, what's that gonna help with? Your mouth gonna be dry, your dreams gonna be dry, your imagination gonna be dry. So just don't.
Ah,
I'm telling you, I opened my mouth up talking outside like the first day. I was here and I was like, I wasn't ready.
oh my God. Oh my God.
It's a true story, y'all. Let's see. Clearly, I ain't short on words, so I'm just outside trying to have a conversation. I'm like,
Oh my.
Oh shoot. I almost died just trying to ask you how you was doing. See, Texans don't talk a lot because it's too hot.
It's too hot.
I got a whole dissertation. Okay, next question.
Um, fun question. If you could create a dance group, dance troupe, a dance extraordinaire team, who would be those people? Five. Just
If
five
I could,
people.
if I could create an extraordinary dance troupe, well, I'm gonna say Giselle Mason. She'd be one of my five because she right here, but also because Giselle Mason. Period. Um, I would throw Missy Elliott in there for purely
Oh,
selfish reasons because I absolutely love her and I think we'll be great friends. But also, Missy has contributed choreography to some of her hotness videos, and I'm like, I
sure
just feel
has.
like she'd be so cool. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Mm, you know, this troop don't gotta make sense to nobody else to me, right?
Correct.
But I'm gonna put my two sisters in there because
Oh,
um, it was making up dances with them in our childhood bedroom that was my first foray into choreography. Like little black girls, I got, little black girls slap their thighs on eight when they're making up a dance. 5, 6, 7, 8. And then the tongue comes out on the one, inevitably. Right. So I got a poem about that too. What here go. I just kidding. Um, but just off of like, I still get so much joy. Sometimes me and my sister still make up dances, and it just
mm-hmm.
brings me so much joy. So I just feel like that has to be there. And then notice how it's all women. That's right. That's cool. Um, oh, who gonna be my fifth? Okay, this is a super wild card, but I think it'd be fun to like have Sierra
Oh, yeah.
because she got
See it before pregnancy or after pregnancy?
mm, during pregnancy. I don't know. I just whatever version of her would be available because she got that like grittiness, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm thinking about like how I feel when I'm even in a room dancing next to some people and like what that does. I just feel like she's somebody secretly. I'm like, I like to take class with her and just be like, what is that like?
Yes,
Sierra, if you
yes.
watch it, you're not watching, but if anybody knows Sierra, tell her to holler at Cedric and Aysha. Okay.
Real
Mm,
quick.
just
I know
right
how to do
fast.
a Matrix. I know how to do the Matrix.
Okay, yeah, no, see, my auntie back don't do that, so I would be doing something else. But yes, damn, yes, boom,
All of that.
got it,
All of that. All of
got
that.
it.
All of that. Yeah. What, what, who, where, what do you envision for hip hop in the next 50 years? What does that look
Oh my goodness, I think it looks like
like in your reality?
in my reality. Well, listen, in Aisha's really reality, there are a lot of things that happen, um, and a part of me is wondering if there's some part. Okay, so this is apropos, like the loop show. So I'm thinking even in a way that hip hop in various ways loops back, certain sounds come back, but with a remix. I think that whole loop back and remix forward kind of nature is going to happen. My hope in Aisha's world, because in Aisha's reality, um, I think there's still abundant amount of space for the different ways that hip hop is always kind of like shape shifting. And I hope that that space has us return to. This is a loop back that I really hope we can get to, where there is more diversity in sound, particularly coming from women in,
Oh,
in, in the mainstream. Um, I am an 80s baby, 90s lady, and I do lament that the sound, the frequency of choice for recording, and then the like tonal frequency of choice for listeners has kind of been condensed on the like spectrum of possibility,
Mm-hmm.
particularly when we think about the sonic nature of hip hop music where there are women artists. I sometimes have not. I'm not even sure if some of our new ones, and this is why, like as an auntie, I take any opportunity to help bridge what's now with the knowledge before. Like, I don't know if they always understand, like, why is it a big deal to give Queen Latifah her propers or Roxanne Shante, or I don't
Yeah.
know that they know. And as a Black woman, I am I I'm here for everybody's liberation and healing and joy. And I am particularly and personally interested and invested in um, our stories, and I'm just sometimes nervous that we are so far onto just one little piece of the spectrum that there's a loss of appreciation for the breadth of hip hop. And so I hope that in the next 50, that there's this revisiting and expansion of diversity of sound and look, you know. I don't think everybody needs, I'm gonna just say this because I can't. Everybody doesn't need the same nose job, contouring, and fake butt. It's detrimental. It's actually detrimental to our psychology because we start making that consciously and subconsciously our concept of what women in hip hop means. And I know from traveling abroad, there have been times where there was one time I was in Bolivia, and before I was interviewed on this TV show, the kind of like intro reel was showing a video, a rap artist video that had, um, it wasn't tip drill, but it was the equivalent of that type of aesthetic. And then here I come for an interview about hip hop, and I just hated that association of um, Black female sexuality and then me as a cultural ambassador of hip hop. Like, I was like, there's so many other images and choices that could have been made. And so I'm here. Listen, I love to drop it low. It's more medium now because I got as much cartilage in my knees. I'm here. I'm not lambasting twerking. I'm not, I'm here. Listen, I live in Texas now. Obviously, I have an appreciation for a short and a bikini top. It's a matter of survival.
Okay.
I also know that that's not the only image. It's not the only choice. And I lament the loss of choices in the visual landscape. So I hope that we can get back to a place where there's more diverse, diverse representation um, for women in hip hop.
I agree. Amen. We need to make it happen.
I'm on it.
Closing out on this beautiful comedic, non-serious, serious interview.
I do think that I'm funny.
You
Like, I
are.
think I got funnier over the past two
I think
years.
it comes with age.
Yeah,
So
everybody's welcome for it. You're welcome, everybody. I'm funny. Okay, moving on.
what is next for the diplomat? What is next?
Oh, honey, immediately next is, one thing I also love about I embrace about college is the schedule. So you put in them 12, 13, 15 weeks, you get six of them off ish. So I am headed to some much deserved vacation and traveling. I'm also working on like lining up some performances here in Tejas in the spring. Um, and uh, yeah, that's what we're up to. What you up to? What's next for you?
Uh, I will be returning to Chicago. Um, like this professor doesn't get a break. I go
Sorry.
from professor to artist, which is
Hmm.
not a bad thing.
Okay, okay.
It's not a bad
Ashe.
thing. After a 2-year hiatus, recovering from a knee injury, I'll be
Hey.
back on the stage.
Yeah.
Um, So I'll be returning to Chicago at the Lyric for Champion, choreographed by Camille Brown and directed by Tim Todd. Um, that starts January 2nd. In the midst of that, I will be going to Singapore to perform another work with choreographer Jason Howard. So yes,
Ooh, I'm feeling like I am not qualified to breathe the same IG live air as you.
oh,
Excuse me. Did y'all
oh,
catch these
oh,
name drops? These
oh,
receipts?
stop.
Look, CVS length receipt out here. Come on. That's awesome. No, seriously, after your injury, you're a beautiful artist, human. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for you. That makes me so happy to hear.
It's been a long journey, but I'm glad that I made it on this side. It's been a long journey, so
Hey,
that's what's happening. That's what's happening. We rocking, we rolling, we pacing, hustling, bustling, but not working too hard.
amen.
You
Listen,
know,
it's like you can still do all things. No, you can do all the things without doing all
all
things.
things. So that's the goal for the rest of my life.
Amen. I believe that. I love that for you.
Ain't nobody trying to be out here doing here like a pinball. We're not doing that. We're not doing
Mm-mm.
that. So yeah, that's what's happening, sis. We rocking and rolling, get things back in order, you know, um, and enjoy making the art.
That part. That part.
You know, enjoy making the art, regardless of whatever the money is or whatever. Just enjoy the practice of making art. So
Yes.
that's where I'm
Agreed.
at.
I love that. Yay. I feel that. I feel that.
Yeah,
I say and amen.
I sure and amen. All right, y'all. Thank you all for tuning in with the Luke Show, and we're excited that Aisha came into our orbit and shared some quality time with us. She could have been anywhere in the world, but she is here with us. So it has been an honor and pleasure to my boom for checking in